Welcome to the greatest of the greatest. A podcast that you never knew you needed. With interviews from people you have never met, or maybe you have once or twice. Asking questions and knowing more than you want to know about them. You are listening to Full Buddy Cast.
Alrighty. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Full Buddy Cast Presents. Just a regular episode. Now, it's been very a reoccurring theme, bringing this guest on, and we're just going to jump right in. Just shout out to all the sponsors and shout out to all the Patreons. Cole Street Brewery. We also like to shout out the Bordeaux Wine Bar and Mazatlan and Enumclaw. Shout out to Andy, the sexy man he was, serving me that beautiful margarita yesterday. As you can see that on the Facebook page of Full Buddy Cast. And then also, of course, say hi to O Chef Country Kitchen. Say hi to the man, Dan. He's also going to be, probably around handing out that ice cream as well. So anyway, we have got Billy Custalow, Nikki St. Custalow, Painted Horse, the man, the myth, the legend.
Not a legend yet.
And working on the legendary legend.
Working on it.
How you doing, my man?
I'm hanging in there, man. It's been a very boring, uneventful couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Nothing really to talk about. It's a fascinating time to be alive right now. It really is. You see my shirt I got specifically for your show today, bud?
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah. The don't tread on me. That's good right. For podcasting.
That's right. It's absolutely good for podcasting. It's just been amazing. Like I said on our podcast last night, it's pretty fascinating time to be alive. It's like lightning, just when you see it happen, it's a brief moment. But it happens, and few get to witness it, and we're the few witnessing it, and it's just incredible. And like the crazy thing is we haven't seen the full crazy yet. The shit show has just gotten started, it seems, and it's going to be an interesting 100 days here for America. Like I don't know if America's seen 100 days facing them before as tenuous and dangerous and probably decisive for this country. Like as I said, it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. Even after November 5th, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, all of that. We kind of stay. Or at least I stay away from politics as best that I can. But there comes a point where you can't ignore it. Like you just can't. I mean, maybe back in the day you could have just had your little opinions. It didn't really matter either way. But yeah, it's been very interesting already.
The internet has ruined everything because it's given imbeciles a microphone, a platform, and an audience, and they can spread their bullshit. Yeah, it's fascinating to see the machine at work, though. I mean, the crazy thing is if you're cognitively aware. If you pride yourself as an intelligent person who isn't gullible, isn't naive, isn't easily bullshitted, then you've taken a look at all this and you've said, regardless of what I think of that individual, what they're doing is on a level of wrong that I've never seen before. And I mean, they hated old George. I mean, they've always had this, at least the facade of bickering, and then they go have martinis together and determine how they're going to take all of our money and fleece us. And I mean, that's a fact. We all know that, right? They don't work for us. They work for corporations. Yeah. They always have, and they always will, because that's just how it goes. The people with the money. Yeah. If that's how we're going to play it, right, it's always going to be that way. Right. So unless we come up with a different system of doing things, or we bring back consequences, tar and feathering, I think, should be on the table. But the sound of hammering outside of your jail cell at building gallows is probably one of the most mentally torturous things you could do to a person because they know those hammers are swinging for them, right? Like, just bring back those consequences that treason is punishable by one thing, and make that. I mean, we're seeing it. We're blatantly seeing it. We got a guy in Congress that slept with a Chinese spy, and he was on the Intelligence Committee. I mean, these things that, if you don't want to be in politics, that's great. But at a certain point, you have to start going, bro, we're getting sold out. And when there's a Chinese dude in a uniform with a M16 standing at your door, barking orders at you, to telling you, get out of your house, get your family and come outside now. And you don't know what the hell's going on. It's going to be too late to go, hey, maybe I should care about what's going on here. Like, no, man, I see bad shit for us if we don't get involved. And that's why I'm trying to, but it's exhausting. And I understand, like, the need, the want, the desire to not even stick your toes in it because it's just so toxic. It used to be you could have conversations.
Yeah.
I'm finding, though, Travis, that when you get away from you can run your mouth on here,
right,
on this internet, this, little podcast, comment section, whatever, because you don't have to face. Back in the day, you had to get on the school bus with me eventually. Right. Like, nowadays, it's easy to talk shit and not have to back it up. And so people do it all the time. And you start to realize, like, when you used to think, I believe in the good in man and humanity, it's like, and then you get on the internet and you go, oh my God,
yeah,
I was wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
when you're able to do whatever you want.
When able to be shitty, they are the just shittiest. And I'm like, I've never been that way. I can mock you if I think you're being an idiot, but I'm not going to attack someone because they think, a different way. And it's just sad that we've gotten to a point where we're literally on the verge. Had that projectile been a quarter of an inch to the right, bro, we're talking a whole different time and tale right now.
I wonder, it's all, you can speculate and see how that would go. Some people would say, man, it would instantly plunge us into a civil war.
You gotta wonder, right?
Or would it be just like, or would people just go back to work?
Same old shit. Like, that sucks.
Football schedule.
We know the CIA killed Kennedy, but what have we done about the CIA? Oh, they're still running around doing their bullshit.
I'm off the radar.
They're same old. I mean, we got IRS people coming out now going after small business owners and single individuals when they said they weren't going to, but they were full of shit. And it's just this, if there was a more blatant attempt at a neo-Marxist takeover of the United States by people over generations indoctrinating and infiltrating the government and the societal institutions on every level, from schools to the local bar to the unions, the trade unions, such as the one I'm in, we're always told to vote Democrat. I tell them to kiss my ass and tell them to stop giving my fucking money to them. And give them to an America First or a MAGA person. Don't give my money to Democrats. Fuck them. They're not doing shit for me. They're not. And it's just, you're killing the hope in people when you're corrupt from the roots all the way up to the head. I mean, if everybody is on the take, if you can't trust your local sheriff to not be corrupt, because the cartels own him and he's allowing drugs and human trafficking to happen in your neighborhood. If your judges are legislating from the bench and, determining what your punishment's going to be by your allegiance to a particular political party or, like just, or your appearance, how you looked, because some of them want to we got to balance things. So we're going to go far over here trying to make an example, and then it's just like, you're killing the hope and faith in all of the institutions that make this country great.
Right.
People are getting excuse my language, but people are getting pissed.
Right.
And you want to keep preaching peace, diplomacy, but at a certain point, you got to stop giving rocks to people that are throwing rocks at you.
Well, I think it's because, and I'm going to sorry to interrupt, but I think it's because
interrupt.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, we get to a point where it's like, where I grew up, you start thinking about it, right? cheaters never prosper. Like it's what
what
goes around comes down. Yeah, you're gonna get
Right.
caught, and then it's not gonna be worth it. And you're in school, and it's
ain't worth the
true. You see
squeeze.
it in school. You're like, okay, this person is they're getting ahead a little bit now, but then they get caught, and then they got in trouble, and then their parents were called, or you got the teacher or the principal, right?
Right.
And so you think, oh, that's how it's always gonna be. And then you get into the real world,
Right.
and you're realizing, dude, cheaters
Those
are
are
prospering.
prosperous. Yes.
Like, that's crazy.
Yes.
Like, and you look at it biblically, David would be sitting there writing his Psalms, and he would be sitting there going, the evil are doing amazing over here, and the righteous are getting pummeled.
Yeah, because you're playing by the rules,
Like,
and
what-
they're
yeah.
making them up as they go along.
Right. And so it's like it's so unfair, and we say, well, life isn't fair, but it does suck to see that once you get into the real world, you start realizing the world is pretty rigged against you. And that's, whoever you are. And you're going to be paying taxes. You're going to be working forever to pay those taxes. You're going to be providing for society. Yeah, you're going to have these hallmark moments around Christmas time and some good old-fashioned fun, vacations. Me, a lot of Vegas. But the reality of the matter is you're owned. You're always going to be owned.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I just recently was talking to someone and said, always remember, if they give you something for free, you're the product.
Yeah.
Because they don't give anything for free. So if they're giving it to you, it's because they're getting something from you that they're making money off, which is basically your information.
Right.
The power of, like, they know your thoughts, they know your desires, they know the clothes you like, they know the toothpaste you prefer, they know everything about you.
Club cards.
You've got you're well, check it out. So your Facebook is linked to your email address.
Yeah.
Your bank account is probably, and your cards are linked to your email address. So all these things are linked, and they're all sharing information, and they're saying, hey, he likes this, and like he buys this a lot here. So that's why you see stuff all the time,
and they hear
that directly impacts you. And it's brilliant. As someone who went to learn DECA in high school, and distributive education and entrepreneurship and all, knowing marketing and wanting to have tools to really know how to get the customers, I think it's brilliant. But it's very sinister at the same time, because it's that little peeping Tom that's always in your life, even when you don't want them to be.
Right.
And so they know every little twisted thing about you. And I mean, there's a certain level of how much is it worth having your privacy exposed like that to, have the convenience of, I don't know, posting videos of your butthole on OnlyFans or something. I don't know.
Right.
I'm still contemplating that career path.
But nobody better know what I'm buying. They can see my butthole.
Yeah, yeah.
But nobody better know what I'm shopping for.
Yeah, don't let them see the little foxtail plug you're going to get. It's all shiny and metal. I'm like, oh, that's a different level of something. Anyhow, I guess this will be the coup de grace for us. So I guess tell people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I'm wrestling with stuff.
I understand that.
Yeah,
dude. Trust me, I get it.
And it's not, it's not you, Billy. It's just the.
Of course it is. It is me.
No, it's
me.
the podcast together. You did come in here feeling. I may have taken the wind out of your sails a little bit, but I was thrilled on seeing that you're setting up your Rumble live.
I have to give that up to my friend JJ, actually, because he's wanted to do it for a while, and he heard me talk about it, and so he went and he put it all. He came up with the name. Gwar fan, because we're Kiss fans, so obviously Gwar goes. It's a whole thing. But brilliant idea. He showed it to me, and then I tried to tweak the name because I didn't realize where he was coming from at first, and then he sent me the link for the YouTube, and he goes, minute 34 of the song. Think you ought to know this. All right. So fast forward to minute 34, and literally it's just like, think you ought to know this, and then it's just 20 seconds of music. I was like,
there we go.
Brilliant. Like, just done. Just stamp it, seal it,
Yeah.
laminate it and make it official.
Yeah.
So thank you. Ought to know this on Rumble.
Rumble.
We're
On what nights?
Mondays and Wednesdays, because I wanted to keep Tuesdays open.
Yeah.
For these.
Yeah.
Obviously. Not that I couldn't go from here and go do one at 7:00 tonight when I'm done here, but just wanting, I don't care how saturated I get. I'll go on 3 podcasts a day, 7 days a week, if I can. If it starts making money, believe me. Oops, I'm sorry, my knee's hitting over here.
You're okay.
But yeah, just kind of pacing it right now.
Yeah,
not too overwhelming.
Yeah, and from my point of view, I was talking to Andy at Mazatlan, the Enum Clay. He's been, every year he re-ups his yearly, sponsorship. But because of COVID, things have changed. I think there's seasons for all things. And so during COVID, we were cooped up, but Enumclaw, we would still visit and get together. And I would bring people on and you could hear people's voices and you could have conversation. And then we would go meet on Friday nights, Full Buddy Fridays. And because we were all cooped up in homes and not seeing anyone, not even seeing family members, barely traveling, just working. And then it gave us an opportunity to go out, see people, have good food, have good drinks, have fun conversations. And now that we've kind of got away from that, in a sense, all things have kind of gone back to normal, so to speak.
Right.
The audio podcast, and I refuse to do video, the audio podcast, in my opinion, is just on its way out. And
you really think so?
Yeah, I think the audio, because people now they're so trained that there's so many video podcasts that they like to see the reactions, the facial reactions,
sure.
They like to see it more.
And Joe Rogan's got Jamie pulling stuff up when the guest or whoever is having him pull stuff up, and you'll miss that. But I can be honest, when I'm at work, and I got my headphones on, dude, and I'm pulling that fuel hose around, fueling shit. I don't need to see anything. If I want to see it, I can go grab the phone real quick and pull up the screen or whatever. But but I still listen, and like to our stuff, I'll go back and I'll listen to it.
Right.
Just it's audio. I don't I put the video up because I'm making it. But point being is I still enjoy audio, and I think radio is still around.
True.
It's not going anywhere.
True.
And radio, more people listen to the radio because they're in their cars,
driving,
on their way to work, a lot more people are listening to their own stuff, but then again, a lot of people are listening to the radio. You heard me. I'm King FM, classical music.
I do. I was out here trimming the roses, the rose bush, and I think there's some movie I'm trying to think of, like where the guy, the mafia guy, is out there trimming and there's classical music playing in the background.
You're waiting to hear like this.
Exactly. And then I hear this. He says, here comes Billy with his car, and I hear blaring with his windows rolled up. I think.
No, they were down.
Oh, they were down a little bit, and just pure classical music, and I'm just I felt like that was in a scene in a movie.
That's
for a
my
moment.
Jam.
Yeah,
I love me some Mozart and Bach. And, I love that shit, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's what. It's
calming. It really is.
It's
just puts you on a good level of good vibration.
Normally, also, so I've been doing this for 8 years. Normally, I take July completely off. Just because there's so much.
You think you are Steven Crowder?
Is that what he does too?
Yeah.
Oh no, I usually take July off, maybe a little bit of August. Then I'm all amped up. I'm ready to hit fall. So I'm not saying that this is, but I'm heavily considering just like having this thing out there, and then just deleting the Patreon and just delete and not deleting the show, but it costs to keep it running $50 a month just to keep the episodes out there, and just have them out there for as long as I feel. But I got rid of.
You mean for Spotify and the Apple stuff?
You got it.
How much does it cost you a month to put these out?
50
each spot, or just 50
a month,
total?
all total.
So Spotify, Apple.
I go through Libsyn, and I pay $50 a month
you go
to
through
Libsyn,
and they put it out,
and then I upload it to them, and then they shoot it out.
to whomever you
to
have your
whoever I
links.
have on there.
Okay,
Yep,
all right,
yep.
$50 a month.
Yeah,
Okay,
and it gives you stats, gives you monthly stats. It shows you where people are listening and where people are viewing from, what type of sites they're viewing from, all that.
right. Because I was noticing, JJ obviously got the Rumble Studio. God bless Rumble Studio, dude, or Rumble for making this. I guess YouTube has theirs too. I just really never delved into it that much. I used to be fired up for YouTube, and then after they did their shit, I just kind of lost it's like I could have probably been on there a long time ago by now, but they just took the wheels out, and then I started looking at Rumble, and I've been waiting for Rumble to catch up. Well, now Rumble's catching up. They've caught up a lot. The Rumble Studio. So that's what we used last night.
Was it
and I
easy?
realized it's easy. Oh my God, dude, it's so freaking easy.
And you have cameras set up and everything?
Yeah, I bought my Razer Kaizo, this nice little camera with a little light ring around it. You know, it's just, and I've got my Samsung microphone and everything. So and I've had all this stuff for a couple of years, just sitting waiting, just like military equipment, just waiting for somebody to fuck around. So somebody did. Now we're finding out. Right. And I got on there and realized I just went in to try to start something of my own for my own page. Yeah, and I realized you can multi-stream to YouTube, to Facebook, to X,
all at the same time.
All at the same. All you do is you link your addresses, and you click on the little slider button, and you can multi-stream.
See, that's
to these guys
interesting.
And as far as I know, it doesn't cost anything. But I could be mistaken. It could be something that you have to pay a subscription for. But even so, I mean, I'm kind of like I'm stoked on Rumble. It's nice to see competition and people that believe in free speech. So that's why I'm just big. Like the X and the Rumble thing for me, I think they're the vanguards right now. They're the guys that are just laying it out there saying, yep, if you want to speak your mind, speak it here,
I've never checked out Rumble.
Let the community cut your nuts off if you get out of line, doggy. But, otherwise, run with the pack and see what happens.
So what's Rumble mostly like?
It's just a different
Is it like
than
YouTube?
It's just it's a video.
Okay.
It's just a place for you to make your videos, post your videos, live stream. Dan Bongino is one of the owners, investors of it. And God bless Dan Bongino, dude. Former Secret Service guy, just putting it out there. Just like, no bullshit from that dude.
Really?
He's one of the reasons why I like New Yorkers. It's like, I used to not like New Yorkers, but him and Trump, they're the reasons I kind of starting to like New Yorkers. But no, Bongino's a real one, as they say. And he's one of the main dudes with Rumble. He had, I guess he had the biggest stream in the world the other night, at least on Rumble. He had Don Jr. and Tucker Carlson.
Oh, wow.
And dude, it was huge. And it was just right after, I think this was right after the RNC, I believe, or right around that time. But it was a huge stream. But Rumble is starting to assert itself and establish itself as, hey, YouTube, if you really want to play that game, we'll take them over here, and eventually we will surpass you. Yeah. It's the way the market works, right? And so you remember Parler? They went out, they went in on Parler. Remember how they destroyed just because they dared? That was when Twitter was still owned by goofy,
right?
And they went all in on Parler, right, to destroy them. Apple, wouldn't take them, and all the platforms refused to have them. And you saw the machine at work. Like, okay, so we were surprised that Rumble stuck around because places like France told Rumble, you have to give us access to something. And Rumble said, or you can't be here. And Rumble said, au revoir, asshole. And then I think it's Brazil said the same thing. And they said, adios, pendejo. And I don't know if that's what they say in Brazil. I'm just going
pretty close.
I'm going with the Spanish I know.
Yeah.
Sue me. But I appreciate the balls to tell countries, ride one, buddy. We're not doing anything for you. This is and it's the whole Article 230 thing. Are you a platform? Are you a publisher? Are you an open platform where you don't censor people's ideas, thoughts, or what have you, even conspiracy theories. You let the community, like I said, neuter them if the dogs are getting out of control. But if they're spitting truth, let them spit their truth. If they're bringing facts and stuff, the whole censoring people like doctors, like Dr. Robert Malone, those guys that were actually telling the truth during the whole,
Right.
COVID vax shit. That's just fucked. I mean, and Twitter was doing it, YouTube was doing it, Facebook was doing they were all doing it. And we're finding out now because of the Twitter files, and there's more shit coming, believe me. But we're finding out all of the collusion. This literally fascism. When corporations work with government to control the populace, that's pretty much the definition of fascism. And it's just funny how they got their little minions out there ginned up and calling all of us fascists. Like, okay, stop with the projecting, please.
Right.
Like this movie's old, but
Yeah, dude, it's just, well, it's good to hear. I'm excited to see it. It's one of those things, in life where we've tried something in the past and then we're like, I'll never do that. And then only because it's so difficult. And then later on in life, you're oh no, that's never going to work. I already tried that 5 years ago. Well, that was 5 years ago. Things might be different. So maybe, I don't know.
I think what you're seeing, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think what you're seeing right now is something we didn't see 10 years ago, 15, 20,
right.
Is companies getting political and in their determination of what they would support and not support, what they'll do and not do, and it's like all of a sudden you get one person who's really far left in any position of authority, power in a company that can dictate policy. All of a sudden, just shit goes.
But they start losing money too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is like we've never seen this before, to where companies are literally they're cutting off their noses to spite their own face, as the old saying goes. They are out here, like Michael Jordan said, Republicans buy tennis shoes too. When someone asked him why he didn't, make a stance or say something, he's like, Republicans buy, my product too. He's not trying to.
Yeah, why?
He's not trying to alienate.
Yeah, you're a business.
Any part of his fan base. It's
so
like
why
he understands when he's looking in the
Yeah.
crowd there in Chicago, and those people are going nuts. They ain't no way to determine who's voting for who.
Right.
But they're all voting for you.
Right.
And so you don't mess with that. If you got a brain in your head, you know where your money's coming from. You don't mess with it. You just let it keep flowing.
Which is why I try to stay out of politics.
You don't walk over to the gold mine and tell them to shut down the machines, Right. And I get it, and I want to do something that isn't all politics too, because everything is freaking politics.
Right.
So we're going to endeavor. We're going to try to keep it local, because JJ really wants to stay local with it. There's a lot, just a big gaping hole as far as political discussion of the people that are running. Because really, honestly, if you think about it, the real impact is the people closest to us around here. DC has a little bit, but mainly it's the people we're electing here that are making our lives either easier or harder, and allowing things to happen or standing up against it. So if we're all focused on that, the big show, and we're not watching,
What's going on.
the local venues, we're going to really miss out on what's really affecting us. So he wants to do that. I got the sheriff's office right down the street from my house. I was thinking about going down there and just shooting the shit with the sheriffs that are running for, election, talking with them, maybe putting videos of them up. And then eventually just going back to kind of a WaterBoy's feel of just trying to get local people on, regardless of their job or whatever, just start talking to people again.
So let me ask you this, 'cause I feel like,
and talk to them about anything and everything. What I mean? Not just politics. But.
Well, yeah. So are you what would you consider yourself more, an entertainer, an entrepreneur, or a someone that likes to just have solid information? And you can't choose all three.
What do you call it? What's that called?
I mean, kind of Renaissance-ish, but when it comes to things, but
what do you call it? Oh God, I'm drawing a blank on the word, but the accidental prophet.
Okay.
I don't know what I am. I'm a complex, complicated
So
thing.
So when you get to, and I'll let you just sling that drink for a moment, but when you that water, it is water, big massive action. What is it?
Yeah, 9.5. It's the pH ion charged alkaline water.
pH balance for a woman, but strong enough for a man.
Yes, exactly. Keeps
But so do you like
roses.
so when the younger you, when you're watching the water sports boys,
The WaterBoy Sports Show.
oh yeah, the water boy sports.
Yeah, fans of the WaterBoy Sports Show, if you're on Facebook, if you'd like to join us. And you can find me everywhere now. Rumble, Painted Horse 9, YouTube, Painted Horse 9, and X, Painted Horse 999. So,
but by the way, I had a 999 the other day. I thought of you.
Yeah.
I was pretty excited about it because I felt like it was going to bring me some luck, and I think it did. I'm trying to remember what it was for. I think it might have been a scratch stick or something like that. It might have brought me some luck. But what I'm asking you is this: younger you in the water boys sports, yeah, that is. Don't Google water sports boys because you may have some images and some videos that you do not want to see. But yeah, water boy sports. You seemed more like an entertainer there. You would have information and stuff like that, but you seemed like more of a, jokes, conversation, entertain.
Yeah.
Now that you've grown up, you've seen what is real and what's not real. Are you more focused on not entertaining, but maybe filling that in, but getting information out there, getting conversation started, having solid, I guess I'm not saying you're fluff back then, but that was more obviously geared around sports.
Yeah, that was just more geared around sports. Now, the episode you saw, the newest one that was uploaded yesterday, the one that was uploaded yesterday by Scott, that was July 22nd, 2004, 20 years ago. I am literally... I recognized the beanie and the handlebar mustache, and I realized this is when I'm about to move out of the house that I helped buy and fix up. I'm about to leave the two dogs and 10 years of a relationship, 8 years of a marriage behind, and back out on my own. And I'm in the middle of it right here.
Yeah.
Like I'm in the she decided that I told her that if either one of us felt like it wasn't working, we should be able to civilly, politely, and respectfully ask the other for parting. And she came up to me 2 days afterwards and said, so this is last week, 20 years ago. Right. And she says, I agree. And so then I'm like, okay. And so then a few days pass by and she realizes, wow, this is really awkward. You still being here. And I'm like, yeah, it is. And I said, so I called a friend and then I started looking, found a place finally. And I was gone. And this all happens these coming weeks right now is me going through the divorce or at least the separation. And the divorce is final in March of 2005. So you guys are about to witness. This is me going through the divorce, got the neck injury. The opiates are already part of my life. I haven't really, gone real deep into it, but I'm getting used to them. So, yeah, it's a special time.
yeah. I mean, we've all not been like there, but we've been on Facebook long enough. If you've been on Facebook long enough, that you can look back on your own memories and see your posts and what you're posting about, and kind of like even pictures and memories and it's funny how at that time you can put yourself in those shoes and go, oh my gosh, I had zero clue what was coming my way. And the hopes that you may have had, the dreams you may have had, and even everything you may have had. Yeah. And so I couldn't imagine though seeing the video, ironically, 20 years to the day.
Yeah.
And just every day a reminder, and you can't tell Scott to slow it down because he's been doing it and it's been interesting and fun, but at the same time for you it's got to be pretty interesting.
It's been 20 years though, so it's not
But can you see yourself still behind that desk
Yes.
doing that
yes.
and knowing what's
yes.
going? Yeah.
Oh yes. And like I said, I'm watching it and I'm seeing it as bare bones as it was, as low budget or as no budget as I called it, as it was. I see what was there in a public access studio in Seattle, Washington before there was a YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
Before there was a Facebook. And I'm understanding that I'm established in something that's local.
Yeah.
And I so badly wanted to take that show and keep it running, but doing a simulcast of it onto YouTube.
Yeah.
That was my goal, and that was the hope. But that was in 06. The show ended in 06 because I just got diverted, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can go in those stories some other time.
So wait, it's over in 06.
Yeah.
So there's still another year, almost 2 years of
almost. Yeah, well, yeah, about 2 years.
Wow.
Because there's a break there for a little bit. I think, I think I get suspended. Yeah, because I'm living up in, what's it called? Oh, gosh, dang it. Up north, right at the King County, Snohomish County line, damn near, 244th and 205th. It's the same street, 244th and 205th. Oh, what the? I'll remember it in a minute. I'm just trying to blank right now.
Yeah.
So anyhow, but I was living up there, but I remember I got kicked off because I got in this dude that worked there started screaming at me one night because I checked him. And anyhow, it got into dude, you need to stop screaming in my face before I F you up kind of thing. And that didn't go over well. So anyhow, I got told I was suspended, and I said, well, look, punish me, but don't punish the crew and the show. Let them keep doing the show. This is before this studio went to the new shit, and I think that's why I stopped doing the show, because I had to have 5 people dedicated. I had to pay $20 per person to have them trained on the equipment, certified and written off. So I had to have 5 people minimum for a live show to show up every week. And I'm like, well, without paying these people, I can't
do it.
Assure that they'll be here.
Right.
So, I mean, I got volunteers that love doing the show, but sometimes we have 8 people and sometimes we have 2. Like, okay, so that was one of the key factors of why I stopped doing the show. But it was also drugs, alcohol, a new girl.
Got a lot going on.
Distraction, her and her lifestyle, and photo shoots, video shoots, and whatever. So,
right.
And she's also going to school at Wazoo, getting a communications degree, and the show starts going off the rails a little bit. But my hope had been that we could stay around and keep doing it. But when I got kicked off, I guess the point of the story, when I got kicked off, I told Ann, the lady, I said, don't suspend them. So I go off. Now, Mike Aves, the guy that does the Mike Hunt show, remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that guy. So he and his friend Craig, and Craig is on my Facebook friends list, so he'll probably hear this. Craig Rogers. Craig was Mike's, director, helped, ran the shit behind his show. Guy's very tech savvy. Anyhow, Mike gets in touch with me and he says, hey, I'll send my guys down. I'll send my guy down and he'll hook up his laptop and we'll get a webcam on you and we'll just shoot you. We'll put you on the green screen in the studio behind Paul and them, and then you can call in on the phone line,
Smart.
on one of the phone lines, and then they can just pipe in the studio. So that's what we did. And so here we go, come on the air, and then boom, there's Mike Aves, who she does not like. No, several people that work at that station weren't big fans of his because of all the trouble he has. But he really did push the envelope on free speech and what have you. And obscenity and what have you. But here, me and Mount Lake Terrace. There it is. I told you I'd remember.
You got it.
Mount Lake Terrace. So he and I are sitting in my room up at Mount Lake Terrace with the bong, doing bong rips and shit. And you're going to see this. You're going to see these, and these will be coming up. in the coming year or two. It'll probably be in 06.
Okay.
So when Scott gets there, so it's going to be a couple years from now. So,
Yeah.
I might be long gone, and one day and you're going to pop up and go, oh, look, hey, there's Billy. And you're going to watch it and you'll be like, holy shit, that's him and Mike Hunt. But yeah, so we're sitting there smoking bong hits on the big screen behind Paul and Scott. And one of the rules in the new handbook was when you are suspended, the whole show is suspended. Everybody, the whole freaking show. So if you're the producer of the show and you're suspended, that means the show. And so I was producer, and so I had done a go around, so they were not happy about it because I was still on the show and in the studio without actually being in the studio.
So the Billy rule. It's the Billy rule. It's like the Tuck rule.
She told me that at the orientation, the reorientation for the producers, for all the show producers, Ann Suter told me, your show, The WaterBoys, had the biggest impact on the rule book of all the shows on that station. She said they really had to sit back and think about the wording of the rules going forward because they knew Mr. Custalow is going to try to find the loophole in there, and he's going to exploit it. Yeah. And so,
dude, that's so good.
So yeah, that's
so then. So then when I want to back up a little bit to when I'm trying to piece your life together a little bit. So when
good luck with that.
What year was it when you found out about we may have talked about it, but when you found out about your daughter and you met her, went down there, Arizona, the whole shebang, about that time, what year was that?
Okay. Sorry. I found out about my daughter actually being in the world I was told about my daughter's existence in a sober state for the first time, so I, could recall it and remember it, and it was shocking. It was wow kind of moment when my friend called me from Phoenix a month before I was about to get married, and so this had been June of '96. Okay. So he says, "Hey, saw so and so, the little girl about 5 years old." Just like you, dude. Right. And I went, okay. So that's when I found out about her. Of course, there wasn't the internet. There wasn't Google and shit. It wasn't easy to hunt people down back then like it is now, right? So anyhow, after I got out of jail in Skagit, I won my lawsuit against the old utility company. Got that money. Got the house in South Seattle. Started growing weed. Got my computer. Got online. Started connecting with old friends on Facebook back in Arizona. One of my friends.
So Norm. What year is this?
This is 2009.
Okay.
This is
okay.
So this is about this time, about right now, freaking right now, because I go down in August. And the next thing I know, I'm getting tickets. I was a jet setter back then because I was growing so much weed and I was just making money hand over fist, dude. Okay. It was so awful. And anyhow, so I was getting to go everywhere, and I had won this lawsuit too, so I had all that money too, So I was just full of myself, having a good time. But no, I'm glad I spent this money because I went down to Arizona and I hung out with my friend, and he and his girlfriend that I had been together for years, they had gotten married finally. They had a daughter. And he saw how great I was with her, and he says, Nikki, you got to go find your daughter, dude, because I told him about it. And I said, yeah, you're right. I said, keep looking, man. I don't know what to do. And so he goes, well, here, I know this one thing you can try when you get back. I said, all right. So I got back to Seattle, and I immediately got on my computer, and I went on and found this service, paid some money. I think it was like $72 or some shit, but I paid this service, and I'd gone and done stuff before. I never paid, but just like going through Phoenix, Arizona, Craigslist, going through Google searches, just typing in the name. And so this time the name came back with an address attached to it in West Phoenix. And I went, bingo, right there. So call up my friend in Arizona, say, hey, I got an address. So the New Orleans Saints and the Indianapolis Colts are playing in the Super Bowl, and my friend, and the day before, okay, so this is so you understand, this is February of 2010. My friend's band, who's a Queensryche tribute band down in Arizona, is playing a big show at the Marquee in Tempe, and that the night before, and so it's going to be party weekend. But anyhow, I get down there. I like to fly on the days when it's easier. So I leave on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, whenever possible. I don't fuck with Mondays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Absolutely not. The cost goes up, and it's just
Right.
Yeah. So I try to go, like I said, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. So I fly down Tuesday, and was it Tuesday or Wednesday? Pretty sure it was. Oh yeah. So this is the first time I'm thinking. The first. So I fly down Tuesday. We get up Wednesday morning, and I told you he normally mills around a bit. This morning he's very fastidious, very focused. He says, "Nikki, are you dressed, ready to go?" I go, "Yeah, man." He goes, "Let's go find your daughter." So we hopped in his car, drove from East Mesa to West Phoenix. So we're standing at the house, heart dropping. It's empty. And once again, man, just providence.
Right.
The neighbor pulls up. I ask her, I walk up and say, "I was looking for the lady that lived here." And she looks at me and says, "You mean, Anita?" Right. And I was like, "Yeah." And took the sunglasses off and looked at her and started smiling. And just right in mid-sentence, she just goes, "Oh my God, you're Kylie's father."
Right.
And that was the first time I ever heard her name.
Okay. This is 2009.
So this is 2010. This
2010,
is literally
okay.
the couple of days before the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay, yeah,
This
February.
This is the Wednesday before the Super Bowl that the New Orleans Saints won. So shortly after Katrina, right?
Yeah.
So Katrina's like 2009, I guess,
right.
or 2008, whatever, when all that shit happened to him. So now this is New Orleans coming back and the team lifting the spirits and everything. And we're all rooting for New Orleans, right? And that crazy ass fake the kick.
Yeah.
Right, kickoff, just the whole thing, right? Just what a fascinating weekend that would have been. But that was like
number
so
one.
my buddy's band is playing this big show Saturday night,
right.
Huge show and like packed house, and then the next day that Super Bowl. But the best part of that whole trip was meeting that woman.
Yeah,
and so. Thank God my friend was there because he was a little more clear-headed because my jaw is just like I'm like spinning like my daughter's name is Kylie. Like,
right.
I don't know. He says, "Give her your information, right. Let her, and of course she says, I think I can find, so she was kind enough to hunt her down. She said she's got a distinctive car that stands out. Thank God for that. Kylie had that ugly piss yellow Dodge Neon. Right. And so Brenda was able to find her, but Brenda finally got a call from her and told her, someone came by looking for you. So she came over and she takes her out in the garage one-on-one and just says, this man came looking for you. And it was your father. And he said, tell you that he's been looking for you for a very long time. And he's hoping that you'll want to meet him because he'd really love to meet you. And she said she started crying and she said, my daddy came looking for me. And she goes, yeah, he's been looking for a long time. He just wished he could have found you sooner. And it was a very emotional moment that they were both crying and hugging each other. And, because a little girl finally realized that my daddy didn't not want me. My daddy came looking for me. So right. I'm hoping that's in her heart that she understands that's, yes, your daddy wished he could take 19 years back and have all those moments back. But that's the guilt that I have to live with for the rest of my life, But
you've stayed in contact ever since.
Dude, I'm so lucky, man. Yeah. I just saw my grandson, both of them. Julio just turned 2 months on the 18th. Yeah. And
all healthy? All good?
Yes. And Frog is 2 years old now. July 10th was his birthday. So really stoked. Nice. Yeah, really stoked on the boys. Just two grandsons. I would have never... there's a time I would have never thought that 20 years ago, I wouldn't have thought this. When you're watching me on that show and I'm splitting up, but there's a desire. God, I really wish I could find my daughter. There's just a pain that I have. And when you see me that I don't talk about it on divulge, but that's just something else along with the divorce, along with the opiates and the physical injuries and all. I'm dealing with all that shit. But
So then,
yes, sir.
I know we haven't gotten to the jail aspect of that portion. Yeah, how long were you in jail?
Let's see. The initial arrest was 10 days. Then the stay when I finally got sentenced in April. What was that? April to May to June. So 68. I think it was like 85 days. I got sprung. Yeah, it was supposed to be 25 more, 110 days. I got out in 85. So 95 days total for growing weed, basically. There's a lot of other shit going on, too. It's just, just low rent, white trash, meth,
Right.
dope addict bullshit, along with opiates. You don't make the best decisions when your head's clouded on
Right.
frickin' Percocets, man.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm the living testament to that. But that would have been 95 days. 85 of those were in an isolation cell. 78 of them were in an isolation cell. 7 of them were in a holding cell. They pretty much fucking forgot me. And I asked them, I was like, hey, and they said they were waiting for one of the isolation cells to open up. You go in, it's a little day room area and 2 cells, right? And so they're isolations, but they only put 2 people in and only one person can come out at a time. So they waited, and I eventually got one of them emptied, and I went in, but they left me in the holding cell out there for a week, and like I was missing meals. They weren't bringing me meals at certain times, and I was like, "Can I get something to eat? I haven't." No. Oh, you're still in there? I'm like, yeah, man. Like, really? And I don't know if you know how small a holding cell is.
No.
But this room is a luxury palace compared to a
Oh,
holding cell,
really?
dude. Not even kidding. It's very small.
Wow.
But they left me in there for 7 days, and then they put me in ISO, and I asked them why, and they said, well, he said the judge believes your injuries are, serious enough. Of course, the doctor thinks that your doctor has you on way too many opiates, and I was like, okay. And he says, and they believe your injuries are legitimate, but you're still charging me, convicting me, and throwing me in a fucking jail cell. So, because I'm trying to grow plants to stop taking those.
Right.
And, okay, yeah. I mean, I go, this whole thing makes a lot of sense, right? And he's like, I understand, because we understand. And says a lot of the guards in the jail told me, they said, we just don't. You shouldn't be in here, dude. Like, this is a bullshit charge. You're growing weed so you could stop taking pills. I go, yeah. I go, and my girlfriend got caught up with some little skank, little thief, and I said I tried to be the superhero and got caught up. But, shit happens. But yeah, it was probably a good thing because it gave me a chance to clean out. But I guess they put me in that ISO cell for another reason. I was told by one of the guards that they apparently knew something about me from Arizona, and so they didn't want me in Gen Pop, especially with certain groups that were running those, because they knew my inclination to break one off if I had to make a point, because I ain't bound to no man except one when he comes back surrounded by a chorus of angels. But yeah, I'm not gonna. And it was funny because when I got the initial arrest and I was in Gen Pop, the A pod, I was standing there, I was talking to the cellmate, and I had known this guy. I don't want to get the details on him, but I think he was a little snitch narc. Anyhow, I'm looking at him, and I'm giving him this look like, my shirt's off. Oh, sorry, I'm just giving him the look like, why are you here, and why are you my cellmate? And I'm questioning him, and then all of a sudden I hear on the cell door. And I got my shirt. I don't have my shirt on, so all my tattoos are exposed. And I turn around, and 3 Mexican guys are standing there at the door, and one of them goes, "Hey, Holmes, you mind if we check out your tattoos? You got some good work, man." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, man. Come on in." And they came, and they walked into the cell. They waited until I said, "Yeah, come on in." They checked my shit out. We talked, and he's like, "Yeah, this dude does tattoos. If you want some, man, you could do a trade or something." I was like, "No, I'm good, bro." I said, "But I appreciate the offer. Thank you." I was polite, respectful, and everything. And he's like, "Well, all right, man. Well, hey, man, thanks for letting us check it out." And I was telling him at that time, I was like, "Yeah, I MC the Seattle Tattoo Convention. I know a lot of people in the industry. If you guys get out and need some connections, let me know. I'll send you some people." And they're like, "Oh, right on." So, kind of had a little bonding moment there. But they left, and the cellmate looks at me and goes, "Do you see what just happened there, dude?" And I looked at him, I smiled, I said, "What happened there?" Now, I knew in my head, I knew what happened. I didn't need anybody to tell me, but I wanted to know if he was on the same track that I was. And he was. They knocked on the door and asked permission to come in and check out your tattoos. I went, "Yes, they did." He says, "Who the fuck are you, Nikki?" And I said, "Somebody who deserves respect, apparently." And he said, "Bro, really, who are you?" I said, "I don't know, man. Do some research. Somebody did."
Right.
I said, somebody knows something, apparently. So, and those dudes, if somebody talked to them and they know something, and I've told y'all things that I did back in my past when I was 20, 21 years old for certain people, and I say that my name gets heard, the real one or the stage one, they know who I am because I did a lot of things for them, and somebody gonna say something, and it'll travel, and it did. And so I wasn't fucked with. And I said, yeah, because I did things right. Like, even in my most fucked up states, I still did things. When it came to those individuals, those mentalities, mindsets, you do shit right or you end up right. You end up in the wrong place. But it was just interesting that they didn't want to put me in there on my, when they sentenced me the long stay. They wanted to put me in isolation, and I told them, it ain't gonna be no trip, man. Ain't no problem. I'm good, and they're good. No, we don't want to take it. So, only reason I found this out was because one of the guards came around later, and I asked him why they had me in ISO, and he says, well, because and he's a big old boy, Navy Reserve guy, and Skagit County Sheriff, worked in the jail. I'm sitting in the ISO cell. I'm just sitting on the floor. And he's talking to me through the glass to the door, and it's like I'm right here in the day room. The girls' cells, their pods right here, their main door is right here where he to his right shoulder as he's talking to me. And he's like, can I ask you some questions? And I was like, sure, man, what's up? And he started asking me, so, what did you do in Arizona? And I was like, he goes, yeah, we heard some stuff about Arizona. And I was like, well, I didn't want to go into too much because I didn't know what they knew. But I was like, what'd you hear? He goes, I know you don't want to talk, probably. He goes, and I know I'm a cop and everything. So he goes, but I was just wondering, man, when you get out, would you be interested in training me? And I looked at him and I went, what? He goes, no, man. He goes, we did some research on you, man. It's like, would you be willing to train me? And I just laughed. I said, brother, I'm no teacher. I said, I'm so far out of shape. And I go, oh my God. I said, trust me, find a studio, a BJJ studio or something, something that teaches grappling. I said, understand the best fight you can ever fight is the one you walk away from. If it ain't sanctioned and money on it with a referee and, rules and shit, don't do it because it ain't worth it. Shoot them. because
course number one.
Right. There you go. Class over. Class dismissed. Just understand that most fights happen one of two ways. You get either clocked by a dude and you fall down, your head hits the ground, splits open, and then you end up in a coma or worse, or vice versa. Or you tussle around like a couple of lovesick hog monkeys, all sweating on each other and grabbing each other in inappropriate places and acting like it's in anger when we really know what's going on. And if you know how to pinch them in the right place, you can get them to stop doing everything they're doing and go, okay, you own me.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, but you need to learn that shit, and you need to learn how to fall so you don't crack your head. You need to learn how to take a mother down and, put them in those things and all. And I'm like, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like the Gracie formula, it seems to work. I'm like, what I studied was Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, and Aikido, kind of a mix. Aikido is wonderful for defense. I know a lot of people think Steven Seagal and everything. It's just, and I was one of the fools. I bought into it. I originally bought into it back in the 90s. I'm guilty. I thought Jean-Claude was a little poser and that Steven was the real deal. And because he spun so much bullshit and we all believed it. But anyhow, Aikido is a beautiful art, but you'll get your ass kicked if you try to go up against an MMA guy with it. And it will be fast and brutal. You'll look pretty for about a second before he slaps the dog shit out of you. But I just was laughing like, that's funny that you guys have that impression of me. And I go, and I'm 40 years old now. So that's 20 years ago, and now that's 17 years ago.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I was just like, holy shit, it's going fast. This life
So
of
fast.
mine is really speeding by. Yeah.
Well, so does this episode too. So here's what we're gonna do.
Yes,
I want to
do
do
some questions.
Well,
or
no,
something?
we're gonna wrap it up.
Oh, okay.
But we are going to do another one because I'm fascinated by your life, and you can get lost in it. You got a lot of good stories.
Well, I would like to extend something to you.
Okay.
We've got a new podcast called Thank You Oughta Know This.
Okay.
We can invite participants to come on our stream with us. So I want to invite you to come on with us from time to time.
Yeah.
And if you have a particular subject, here's another thing. When you're on there, you'll realize we have the screen share option. And if you bookmark stuff from the internet,
Right.
Video clips, stories, whatever, anything about anything that interests you.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be politics.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
And you want to come on and you want to talk
Share
about
it.
something.
A little like JRE, a little bit. Yeah.
Exactly. But you come on, you can be that one dude that talks about,
Right.
ancient Egypt and shit.
Right.
And you can show all the stuff. And you can come on and talk about aliens and all and how they, screwed our great-great-great-great-grandmother and made us. Right? Like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just if you want to come on and be a part of that from time to time, I want to extend that invitation to you. And I'm going to do that with friends. Stock Car Scott's obviously going to be one of our guys that we're going to have on as much as possible, because for his age, he's 10 years older than me. He's pretty damn good at
He was fun. He was a kick the other day. That was awesome. It was great to meet him.
He is one of the biggest blessings I could ever ask for in a friend. The guy is so solid and so loyal, and that's why I was happy to bring him here.
Solid
just to
dude.
let him. Yeah, he really is, man.
Yeah,
Very wonderful human being.
And so I appreciate that that invite. I'll obviously accept that invite, and I'll figure out what I want to do. What I'm trying to weigh right now is if I'm just overloaded with crap, and if it's just like, okay, what's the easiest Jenga piece to remove, in my opinion, right?
Understood.
But I also enjoy your life. I can get lost in it. So we have not come to the arc, in my opinion, of how you got to where you are now, where you're clean, you're not involved in stuff, you're an awesome grandfather.
But I would go back to growing weed again in a heartbeat if the opportunity presented itself.
Well,
I swear to God, I was good at it, and I love doing it, man.
I appreciate
music and growing weed, man. And one other thing I won't mention on this podcast, but music and weed, man. Those were two things I love doing.
So on the next episode, let's talk about that. I'm assuming we're with the timeline, we're getting close to that. So if it's maybe not be the next episode yet, but might be in 2 episodes. But as we're traveling through your life, there's this point though that where you do, and I was wondering if it was jail, and don't spoil it for me. I was wondering if it was going to be this, that, the other thing, meeting your daughter, whatever, or maybe all those combined into some. But I think there's something there. No spoilers, not a spoiler, but there's gonna be something, obviously, that changes your life's trajectory, and that's what I'm interested in. And so, as you contemplate when we get back together on this. Know that that's where I'm driving towards, because I'm very interested in that. I mean, right now we're kind of in the 2010 era, 2011 era. I'm thinking
2010. 2011 is an impactful year. That's the year that
no spoilers.
That's Bin Laden was killed that year, right?
Possibly, I don't know.
Okay, so that's a significant year in time and everything, and I will tell you why.
Did you kill Bin Laden?
No. But something major happened literally the day before Bin Laden, and it was just this awesome set of like 36 hours of what happened and Bin Laden getting taken out, and was just
I'm so intrigued right now.
So I'm going to save it for the next time.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on. So you said Rumble Monday nights, Wednesday nights.
So folks out there at rumble.com, Painted Horse 9. You can also find Thank You Oughta Know This is a new page, just a couple of followers on there. But yeah, Thank You Oughta Know This. And JJ and I will be going, John Jankowski, we call him JJ. He and I will be going streaming live 7 o'clock Mondays and Wednesdays, 7 o'clock Pacific. So 7
And
p.m.
that's going to be live. So Holly and anyone else that listens that loves that, just if you want to get that taste of that live action,
right? And visual. I know that's how some of you out there work. You're just good for visuals.
She was like, "You're making me sound so thirsty." For
I
him
know.
right now.
I saw that. That was fun. She's a riot, dude. She is a funny lady. Yeah, I'm guessing that your friend that you thought might be interested, nah. And so,
well, no, she actually found a boyfriend and me around the same time. I know.
Fuck him.
She is.
So next Monday, folks, I'm not even trying to pimp this for DiGiorno, but that Gimme Chimmy Deadpool pizza that they've got right now is the bomb. But I'm going to catch the matinee showing next Monday with my buddy Scott at the Regal Cinemas.
Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yes, Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah. It's coming out this Friday, but I'm obviously working, and I don't want to deal with the crowds at night. So I'm going to go Monday and matinee when the place is damn near empty.
What location?
I don't want to give it out because I don't want. I don't want assassins coming and shooting at me from the slope roof and shit next door.
Message you.
You see how I did? You see what I did there?
Good.
That was
very good.
Way
to sneak that one in.
The Regal Cinema up in BL.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'm stoked because I've been waiting for this for a long time. Obviously, I'm a big Deadpool fan, so I'm going to come. Monday's podcast with JJ is going to be somewhat. Well, he's going to try to delve into more local stuff. I'm going to come in with the review of the movie, obviously, and then I bookmark so much stuff from X. The clips and videos and stuff. I bookmark.
You're built for this.
So I'm just like, I've got such a library of shit to refer to and go to and everything. I probably need to go in and sort it out and put them in folders so I can find them easier in the future. But point being is like, I'm ready to go. But we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna do the Deadpool thing Monday. But then the Wednesday from this week, a week from tomorrow, we're going to I'm going to take my Pierce County pamphlet with all of the candidates in it, and we're going to go through and read off some candidates and stuff for, especially the governor and whatever, and the other positions here in Pierce County, and he's in King County. He's got his. So we're going to spend a little time talking about the candidates and,
right.
Who does what, believes in what, and
you do your research and then give the research out.
Yeah, if people want to join us and find out, because I mean, your local vote really does have more impact, matters more than the national. Yeah, the national one, it does matter who's running our country because they determine the wars and shit. But at the end of the day, it's the people that determine where your money locally here is going, what roads and schools are getting improved and what bridges are getting rebuilt, and what's getting encouraged and funded, and what's maybe not where we want our money to go. So you get to determine a lot more of that. You have a bigger say in it in local. So we're going to try to provide that, I guess, tool for people as well.
And then, do you have a Patreon set up yet?
I do. It's Patreon and it's Painted Horse.
It's Painted Horse.
It's at Painted Horse. Yeah, I'm trying to keep everything Painted Horse or Painted Horse 9. But yes, Patreon is just at Painted Horse.
Okay. Let's go for one or two. Let's just this week, let's get one or two, and then we'll keep building off of it.
I have a couple of friends. My friend Angie Vehar down in L.A. She owns Imagine T-shirts and more, and that's where I have T-shirts made for people. There's some of my designs. We'll try to get more of my quotes and shit on T-shirts, but she's at, like I said, Imagine T-shirts and more.com. And then my friend Laura, these are all free members though. These are all the two people that joined Patreon for free. I have no paying members at the moment, but if you would like to pay, I have tiers set up, and obviously I will promote the dog shit out of your product if
absolutely.
You pay. If you pay me money, I'll be your baby daddy.
Yeah. I just want you to make a shirt that says, I hope to get quotes and shit on a T-shirt one day. Yeah. And then that's the quote on the T-shirt.
Yeah.
It's just,
I think that's a great idea. That's a brilliant idea. I think we're going to do that. Angie, did you hear that? Print it. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, sounds good. So Painted Horse, go check him out. The tier levels, I'm guessing, are pretty standard.
Yeah, was it $2 just to say thank you for being alive? $5, $5, $10, and I think that was it. I don't think I went beyond 10. I might have done a 20.
You gotta go crazy with it because there's some people out there that are like,
20,
cool with it.
20. I'm sending you pictures of my butthole, whether you want them or not.
Oh, I love it. I friggin' love it. Well, sounds good. Let's do some shout outs then real quick. You go ahead and start it off, and then I'll jump in on mine.
Who do I want to shout out to? Shout out to the Teamsters. Congratulations to the local 174 and 117 guys that just voted on and agreed to the new contract. So that means our little group is about to jump into that pool too, and as the shop steward, I can't tell you how happy I am that this I'm stoked.
Warm and fuzzy.
It's a good contract. It's not a great contract, but it's a good contract, and right now I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take it. So I don't know if you saw, I had to put out $900 to get my air conditioner fixed at my house a couple weeks ago. Or was it last week? Yeah, I think it was last week.
During the hottest time of the year.
Yeah, when it was just cooking bacon. Yeah, so I mean, it was like he says, here's your choices. Here, he says $900 to put in this sealant and everything and run it, and blah blah, and let the sealant harden, and it did, and it's worked. Thank you.
Nice.
But it's an 18-year-old system. I've gotten 8 years more probably, or maybe at least 3 more years than I probably should have. He said 10 to 15. He says 10 usually, but it's 18 years old. So I'm looking at $5,000 to $6,000 to have a place. I'm like, nah. So I said, yeah, do the $900 job. If it works, great. If not, then I'm just going to go get a portable unit, $300, and put it in my bedroom or wherever I need it, and just stay cool.
Nice.
But if I spend $5,000 to $6,000, it's going to be on new windows because the windows in my house are just shit. It's a manufactured home. I bought it 3 years ago. I know it's a project. It's a sweat equity kind of thing. I'm going to have to put a lot of work into it. But like I said, just being me and working and doing everything, it can be a little overwhelming. And it's like I start seeing it pile up, and it's like, So I've been trying to spend more time doing stuff around the house and the yard and all, and just get one thing at a time done. Don't take that whole, I got to get it all done
right now. Right.
Just do one thing.
Declutter it.
So thank you to those 2 ladies for joining my Patreon. Free.
Awesome.
It was just nice of them to take the time to join. But yeah, patreon.com, Painted Horse. And the other thing, all the other places, I think, X is Painted Horse 999. Everything else is Painted Horse 9. YouTube, what's the other shit? Whatever.
Well, I want to shout out my Patreons as well. Kellen Hall, Hollygraph, Adam Kenny Art, Seth Loop, Cassie Spencer, Amanda Keating, Shekinah Sarver, Jared Skelly, Ben Illman, Jamie Roberts, Jamie Kenny, Apollo Doodle, Jackson Syduk, Sasha Carey Lind, Thomas Savageau, Cameron Stratton, Katri Hoban, Jackie Van Hoof, and Dan Coots Snyder. Also the free members. Shout out Trudy, Sage Hills Golf and RV Resort, and Anthony Wright. So real quick.
Damn.
Damn,
Big Daddy making all kinds of money.
Well, I do want to say, I'm not ending the show. I'm weighing.
I understand.
I almost feel like I'm like that because I am actually an admin for that. But sometimes those admins out there on the freaking pages, they're like, I'm gonna delete this thing. I can't handle you guys anymore.
Yeah.
And then they threaten it, and then 3 months later they're threatening it again. And 3 months later.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if it's run its course. People have kind of gone back to their normal lives, and although our numbers are good, they're not like continuing to grow. So it's like, this has been a good, and it's been 8 years season. It's been a nice season. But
do you know what
go for it.
If it's possible for you, you have these Patreons, these restaurants and places. If you could pick a time once a week or once a month, you pick a time and a place where you go and you set up and you invite people to come and be a part of the show, part of the live audience, while getting food and drink or whatever.
We've done that.
You've done that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did that work for you?
It is a lot more work.
Yeah.
Than it's that. It was nice. Those were good. Doing it. This is a little behind the scenes stuff. I appreciate you asking me the question. So doing those, we've done Full Buddy Fridays, we've done live podcast recordings, and you reach out to people and you say, hey, we're going to do it this day. And they're like, can't wait, going to be there. And then they don't show up.
Right.
And
I know
so,
that.
and they got but then we do have other people that show up, which has been nice. And it's been fun. But again, that was during the COVID times where people just wanted to get the frick out. There's Bordeaux Wine Bar. We had our first private shut it down. Like no one can come in and out because everyone had to wear, like we were trying to stay off the radar during that. Right. But we had probably about, 15, 20 people there, which was fun. We did a little DJ thing afterwards and we had a great time. And we had the pre-menopause girls on there, the Corinne and Amber, and we talked about freaking Bravo shows and whatever they wanted to talk about, and so, but the interesting thing that has been the solid, and I love what you're doing with your show, is that everyone has a story, everyone has an interest, and everyone has a passion. And when they have that together, it's fun to listen to, it's fun to ask questions about, it's fun to be involved in. And it becomes a culture. There's a kind of a little bit of a culture of people joining and being involved, and you can see how cults form and all that. Like you'd probably be a great cult leader. I'd probably be a good cult leader.
I think so.
Yeah, I think we probably.
I'm trying.
Yeah, it's just. Unfortunately, we are serving the Lord, and that's kind of edging in on our.
Come to Billy, come to Painted Horse, come.
But anyway, well, I appreciate Billy. We'll have you back on. I cannot wait to get to that arc of the
I'm
story.
happy. I'm humbled, and I'm thankful that you would have me on your podcast. So it's definitely it definitely inspired my friend JJ to say, "Hey, you know what?
We can do way better than this dude."
Well, not even way better. No, that wasn't even. No,
No,
not even going there. No, he was just saying, "Hey, you know what? He's right, man. Just I'm going to see what I have to do." And he went and he did the footwork.
I love that guy. That's good.
Yeah, and so now we've got us a podcast.
There you go.
I think you ought to know this. Check it out. So,
have a great week, everyone.
Thank you, Travis. Peace.
Welcome to the greatest of the greatest, a podcast that you never knew you needed, with interviews from people you have never met, or maybe you have once or twice, asking questions and knowing more than you want to know about them. You are listening